Is not here. She has COVID. Yes, it's back. It's back.
It's back.
But she's on the mend. She's on the tail end, and she'll probably be back this week. But sorry she's not here. For those of you who are looking forward to seeing her.
A few moments later.
Even Chris Christie, even though he seemed to be doing Pilates with his wrist.
Yeah, he was. He was.
I like what he's saying, though. He's speaking out against.
He's growing in support.
I mean,
Democrats.
I always had a problem with him. You know, I did a roast, and he got mad at me one time, and you know, I said to him,
"What did you say?"
I said he wanted to run for president. And I said, "Listen, let me say something to you in terms you understand. You're toast."
That's not that bad.
That's not that bad.
That's a roast joke.
That's you going light.
You make fun of people about their looks and their weight.
You say more harsh things during our Hot Topics meeting. Please, she says more harsh things to me as a
friend.
What is this, a gangbang all of a sudden here?
Here's what I'll tell you. From March of 2024 to July, he is going to be on trial in 2 different trials in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So that's from Super Tuesday to the nominating convention in July.
Yeah.
I think it's like 95% chance, barring some major outside factor, he will be the GOP nominee. And we have to ask ourselves, is that what our country wants? A potentially convicted felon? The flip side, which I'd pose to you guys, why the hell is he head-to-head, neck and neck with Joe Biden? They're statistically tied right now.
All right, guys. So the cackling hands of The View are back, except Whoopi, who has COVID, which is quite a coincidence since the White House announced that Joe Biden caught COVID and they are implementing a mask mandate for Sleepy Joe. Okay, Joe's going to have to wear a mask when he is around people, when he's not socially distanced. I think what we're seeing is the beginning of the Democrats and their push for trying to use COVID as a way to implement policies that are favorable when it comes to the election in 2024. Okay, I believe that that's what we are beginning to see. So with that being said, again, we got to talk about The View, who has been on vacation for about a month now. And it's funny because I saw a lot of videos about The View being canceled or Whoopi being fired that for some reason got a ton of views, right? But a quick Google search showed that Whoopi wasn't fired. She wasn't sued, unfortunately, and The View's not canceled, right? And they're back, okay? They're back. And I got to tell you guys, to nobody's surprise, these people are as insane as ever, okay? The Trump derangement syndrome is on a whole nother level, right? They missed a whole lot of stuff to talk about, and now they're getting to their collection of masturbation material that they haven't got a chance to talk about for a month, right? So the first thing I want to talk about, though, is actually not Trump, but they found a way to incorporate Trump anyways, which is their reaction to the natural disasters that have happened in this country, whether it be hurricanes, what happened in Maui, and Burning Man, which apparently, you know, the cackling hands on The View are saying all these things were caused by climate change and it's the Republican Party and Trump's fault. Take a look.
This is one of the many tragedies this summer due to climate change. This is another one of those. They better deal with this. This is the number one existential problem in this.
It rained 3 months worth over 24 hours.
But when I hear Republicans say, "Oh, it's not man-made, it's not about fossil fuels," you know, when Trump was president, all of that went up. The fossil fuel usage went up.
And the regulations went down.
Planet. Please don't vote for him. I'm begging you. Get him out of here. He's so dangerous.
But I'm glad you mentioned that because
he's so dangerous.
It's important to keep mentioning and try to see how we help the Maui fires. Yeah. How Hurricane Idalia in Florida.
That was a horrible fires in Greece. It's like a nuclear bomb hit that poor place.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there were fires in Greece. There were fires in Italy.
Yeah.
Phoenix had 116-degree temperature. Palm Springs must have been over 100.
Yeah. Hurricane Idalia hitting the Big Bend in Florida.
The aquifers are drying up. If we don't have water, we can't exist.
Yeah.
They have to stop denying and stop with the fossil fuels and whatever else is causing this. I'm begging you, don't vote for him. We'll be right back.
See what I mean, guys? Right? Full-blown Trump derangement syndrome. And this is exactly what Vivek Ramaswamy is talking about when he talks about the climate cult, okay? The climate agenda, right? This woman literally is blaming Maui, Burning Man, and the hurricanes, every natural disaster is climate change, right? Every natural disaster to ever happen has to be climate change. Even though we've been having natural disasters since the beginning of humanity, right? The beginning of humanity. Before humans started using fossil fuels, right? We've had natural disasters since the beginning of the earth, right? And the climate has also been changing since the beginning of the earth. But again, these people, because they know nothing except left-wing talking points, they come out here and they play their audience because they think their audience is dumb by making these silly statements, trying to imply that Republicans and Trump are basically causing the world to end, right? The world is ending because of Trump and the Republicans. When, again, just even basic knowledge on this subject, I mean, basic knowledge of carbon emissions and which countries are contributing the most to climate change and which are not, you would know that it does not matter what Trump and Republicans do. Even if our net emissions was zero, that would not make a dent. It would not make a dent in climate change, according to the left-wing climate scientists, right? According to their science, it wouldn't matter what the U.S. does. As long as China is responsible for 25 to 30% of the emissions, you got India, you got the rest of the world, you're not making a damn dent. But again, they think that their audience is too stupid to know that, and maybe the cackling hens might not be intelligent enough to know that either, right? I highly doubt that Joy knows anything about what she's talking about outside of the talking points that she was fed. I mean, just listen to her talk. Don't vote for Trump because the world is going to end, right? Get this man out of here. Get this man out of all. He's not even in office. What are you talking about? Biden's in office. Biden is a greater threat to this planet than Trump, if we want to keep it 100. But again, speaking of Trump, we all know they had to chime in on the Trump indictment. And here we have Joy Behar in The View reacting like the most of the mainstream liberal media, which is understanding that the writing's on the wall if you pay attention to the polls, and how at this point the polls are basically tied between Trump and Biden. Trump is dominating the Republican primary. It seems like Trump could possibly take back the White House. And because of that, these cackling hens are openly advocating to essentially destroy democracy by taking Trump off the ballot with the 14th Amendment. Take a look.
We missed a lot this summer. People are writing on Facebook, when are you coming back? I'm sure you're missing everything. We want to hear what you have to say. So let's say what we have to say today. Okay. Trump had his fourth indictment.
Who's counting?
He was indicted by a grand jury along with 18 of his allies, including Rudy Giuliani and Mark Meadows.
Yeah.
Trying to overthrow the election in Georgia. So he's facing 91 felony charges.
Yes, he is.
4 indictments in various districts, an array of civil cases. He was twice impeached, as you always remind us. So is there anything that we can do to stop this guy from running? Because obviously he's a traitor. So why would he be running for president if he's a traitor?
That's the thing. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, 60% of the GOP is supporting him, of GOP voters. And so you
think
have
it's more than that. Is
really?
Because it's about 59%.
Oh,
the Wall Street Journal today said 60%.
Oh.
But I think what's interesting is...
So there's 40% who haven't lost their mind.
About 40%, which is a good thing, right?
Well, wait a minute. That's if you consider supporting Ron DeSantis not losing your mind.
Oh, you mean the other 40 could be...
the bar is low.
Well, I thought the alternative was Democrat.
So don't get ahead of yourself.
There is a field. But what I want to say is, I think the larger question is, he's going to be convicted of something, right? I've said it all the time. Federal defendants get convicted like 97% of the time. In the Georgia case, he's on tape for one of the charges. So he's going to get convicted. The larger question is, why is he even allowed to run? And, and I've said it over and over again. Now, are these legal, and Alyssa and I were talking about it earlier, there are conservative legal minds and experts that are saying that under the 14th Amendment, he is not even allowed to run, even though he hasn't been convicted yet. Because the 14th Amendment says if you've participated in public office after taking an oath to this country in an insurrection, you're ineligible to run.
Okay.
And so you have 2 lawsuits now pending, I think one in New Hampshire and is it Florida? Florida. So I really think that this legal theory is something that we really need to concentrate on. Instead of concentrating so much about on the indictments, I mean, I'm very excited about them myself, but I definitely think 14th Amendment all the way and just prevent him from running.
To me, the question is not why he's allowed to run. To me, the question is how could possibly Republicans who call themselves the law and order party be supporting a person who has been now indicted in 4 different jurisdictions? I mean, that's just outrageous.
Here's what I'll tell you. From March of 2024 to July, he is going to be on trial in 2 different trials in Washington, D.C. So that's from Super Tuesday to the nominating convention in July. I think it's like 95% chance, barring some major outside factor, he will be the GOP nominee. And we have to ask ourselves, is that what our country wants, a potentially convicted felon? The flip side, which I'd pose to you guys, why the hell is he head-to-head, neck and neck with Joe Biden? They're statistically tied right now.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? And I told you guys multiple times, especially after the Jack Smith indictment, that the 14th Amendment is going to be the go-to if all else fails, okay? The liberal media, the Democrats, they're going to really push hard on this argument that Trump is disqualified from running for office. And I just got a feeling that one of these woke revolutionaries that is running some of these state elections, they're going to end up taking them off the ballot. I hope I'm wrong, but I just believe that that's going to be the case, okay? But what you see here, guys, is that the cackling hens realize what the rest of the mainstream liberal media realizes, which is that the writing's on the wall. All of this stuff has backfired. These indictments have done nothing but make Trump stronger. And it seems like he's in a great position to win the general election. And now what they're doing is saying, well, you know what? Screw democracy. We're just going to take him off the ballot, right? If we can't get him through the witch hunts, we're just going to take him off the ballot. And they're openly advocating to straight up overthrow democracy on national television. Then they'll turn around and tell you how much they love democracy and how they're trying to save democracy and democracy this, democracy that. But when it comes time to quote unquote stand up for democracy, when it comes to Trump and your political opponents being allowed to run, even though there's nothing constitutionally that is not allowing them to run, they say, oh, nah, he shouldn't be allowed to run. We shouldn't allow the American people to make the decision about who they want to be president of the United States. These are the same people that lost their minds when they realized that, oh, wait, Trump being in jail or being a convicted felon doesn't bar him from running for office. He can still be president. So that failed. The poll numbers haven't declined. In fact, they've gotten nothing but better. Now they're on the last option. Well, let's just take him out of the race, right? I mean, these people are panicking. They're in a full-blown panic at the fact that Trump might win. He might be president of the United States again. And they wasted no time. They wasted no time expressing how afraid they are of this man being president of the United States again. It's pretty hilarious. The Trump derangement syndrome has gotten a lot more severe, okay? This is probably one of the severest cases that we've seen in a long time, okay? All 4 of the cackling hands, 5 of the cackling hands on The View. Severe case of Trump derangement syndrome. We really do need to open back up institutions in this country where people that have this debilitating condition can lay on somebody's couch and really figure it out. I don't understand how in the world can you live in an economy where you have record inflation, record crime, record illegals crossing the border, embarrassment on the world stage. This country is an absolute disaster. And these people are so deranged over Trump that they would rather see Biden in office, continue to destroy this country, rather than have Trump back in office. They're calling for the man to be removed from the ballot. Not only just to lock him up, take him off the ballot. These are the same people who